College sports just hit a breaking point, and now the government is stepping in. An executive order signed by President Donald Trump is trying to limit athletes to 5 years, cap transfers at 1, and even threaten schools with losing federal funding if they don't follow the rules. But here's the reality: this might not even hold up in court. Ever since the Supreme Court ruled against the NCAA in 2021, the athletes have been winning, and the NCAA has been losing control. So now we've got a system where players can transfer every year. Money is flying everywhere through NIL, and nobody actually agrees on the rules. And this order, it's trying to put structure back into chaos. But you can't fix a billion-dollar industry with just an executive order. If this isn't a solution, but it is a signal, because the real question is this: are we building a real system for college sports, or just watching it spiral into professional free agency without rules? This week on our college sports update, we are discussing what happened last week as we've officially crossed into a new era of college athletics. And it's not just NIL or the transfer portal anymore. Now the federal government is stepping in. Current President Donald Trump signed an executive order aimed at reshaping college sports, and it's aggressive. Here's what it's trying to do: limit athletes to 5 total years of eligibility, allow only one transfer without penalty, push a national agent registry, protect funding for women's and Olympic sports, and most notably, threaten loss of federal funding if schools don't comply. It's not a suggestion, it's some leverage by the president, but at the same time, we don't know if this thing will actually hold up in court. But Frank, based on everything that got put into place, I think this is a good starting point to help fix college athletics. They just need it in more of a law form.
Yeah, other than, the loss of federal funding if schools don't comply. Other than that, I agree with everything that's been proposed here. 5 years, absolutely agree with that. One penalty-free transfer. We've both said that's a great idea. The national agent registry, I think, is huge to protect players from these backstreet agents, the alleyway agents, I guess you could say. Protect funding for women in Olympic sports. Absolutely fantastic. So it's going in the right direction for sure.
I like all of it. And here's the other thing too, to counter you on the federal funding. I mean, you have to put in something extreme for schools that don't oblige. And so that's an extreme punishment. Unless you have another, what would your punishment be? You have to put something in. Otherwise, the schools are like, all right, go ahead. What are you going to do? Oh, fine us? Nice. We'll just write you a check. I mean, it needs to be something obscure that no school wants to touch. So I don't really mind that potentially, but by this order. But the reality of the situation is this is not holding up the court of law because it's not a law. It's just an executive order, which can obviously have a lot of holes poked into it.
Mhm.
And until the Congress gets together and passes an act that really gives the NCAA antitrust law exemption, you're going to be in the middle of this every single time in a courtroom.
Yeah, for sure. And now legal experts are already saying that this is likely going to get blown up in court. And the reason why is because ever since the NCAA versus Alston decision back in 2021 that you mentioned earlier, the NCAA has been fighting a losing battle trying to control athletic compensation and movement. Courts have consistently sided with the athletes. And now it's becoming a fight of, can the government succeed where the NCAA has failed, or is this just more noise in a system that is already spiraled out of control?
The only thing that really needs to be they need to have something that courts can go to and be like, these are the rules,
Yes.
these are what you have to follow. And until that gets put into place, it doesn't really matter what they come up with because, they're not going to win any antitrust laws because, sports and business and labor laws don't coexist because you're trying to make leagues very competitive. That's why all these leagues have some form of antitrust law exemption to make the leagues competitive. But what does this really mean for college sports? Well, college sports right now is operating like free agency on steroids. Athletes are transferring every year. Schools essentially bidding for players via NIL collectives, eligibility rules being challenged constantly. This executive order is trying to bring structure back to chaos. And honestly, some of these ideas do make sense. A 5-year cap, it's very reasonable. Limiting transfers, stabilize rosters. agent regulation. That is long
Yes.
overdue in college athletics. But the problem is you can't fix a $1 billion industry with a temporary executive order. That's like putting duct tape on a cracked dam. They need actual laws.
Yeah, exactly. And the 5-year cap really hasn't been an issue until COVID happened and we had
Right.
these eligibility issues from that. So that was never really an issue. The transfers is a product of NIL. That's where the big change has become. And the agent regulation is very much the same. It's a product of NIL. So these are all very, very recent problems. It's not like these have been systemic problems that have plagued the NCAA for years. These are all brand new issues that are cropping up because of NIL and because of the questionable loss of eligibility due to COVID.
And right now, we're stuck kind of in the middle area. I mean,
Mhm.
lawmakers are split on whether athletes should be employees. Bills, all like the SCORE Act, keep getting delayed. No unified direction at all. So we're stuck in the middle ground where players have more power than ever, schools have less control than ever, and nobody actually agrees on the rules. And it's not great for college athletics because it is making it even more difficult for schools like San Diego State here in town to be able to compete at a high level and replicate what they did a couple of years ago by making the national championship game in basketball. So unless something is done, this is going to slowly start to deteriorate. And guess what? For everybody that's a main component of athletes getting paid, you get paid when people watch. And if people stop watching, guess who stops getting paid?
Yeah, exactly. And now it's becoming a question of is college sports becoming a regulated professional system or will it continue to be a free for all? Because right now, as you alluded to, what they've got going on right now is not sustainable. It is going to lose interest, which means it's going to lose viewership, which means it's going to lose sponsorship, which means it's going to lose money. So there is no winning at the end of this tunnel. So they have to get it figured out and they have to get it figured out soon before it really gets out of hand.
But you know what? At least they're stepping in the right direction. Maybe we'll
Yes.
have more positive updates on this in the near future.